With all due respect, sir, we can't stand on the sidelines while they redraw the maps for the 20th century. They are weak. We need to act.
Europa lies in ashes, but our national bird is the eagle, not the vulture. Americans don't want an empire, George. We lead by example, not by threat of force.
Of course, you are right. But only the strong can protect the weak. The situation up north is untenable. If we want to lead by example, we must not allow tyranny to win.
Alaska is Ruspia territory. We have no jurisdiction there.
They're murdering landowners and seizing factories. Factories that American businesses invested millions in. Are we really gonna sit here and let criminals steal our property?
No. We can't tolerate these acts against our people on the American continent. Deal with the situation, George, but discreetly. In and out, minimal casualties.
Yes, Mr. President. I'll send our best man.
Captain Mason, do you think the American Union should be invading Ruspia territory while that nation's citizens fight for freedom and democracy?
This isn't a charity gala, Randolph. Who invited you to the party?
You know who. Daddy's friends pull some strings. America's son must be presented in the best light possible.
I serve my country the best I can and look after my men. And there are no strings on me to pull.
Are your father's associates aware of this rebellious tone? Do you agree with those seeking to discard our nation's long-standing non-interventionist policy? Should America deploy its military might anywhere in the world? Standing armies and new taxes to fund it all, huh? Before you know it, we'll be building bases overseas. Captain! Should the American people accept their sons dying to protect the interests of oil companies? What do you think, Captain? Did you know that the refinery was owned by some of your father's, associates? Speak of the devil. Any comment on your son's performance today, Admiral Mason?
Captain Mason demonstrated bravery and quick decision-making in a difficult situation. As a distinguished West Point graduate, he has once again demonstrated that strong leadership makes all the difference in battle.
Right. Does the protection of American interests justify this sort of intervention, as well as drastically increased military spending?
We need to be prepared. It's a dangerous world out there.
And there's a lot of money to be made, am I right, Admiral? Some of your associates seem to have a keen interest in,
Out.
Excuse me.
Our supporters aren't as forgiving as I am. If you continue disappointing, they'll find someone else.
I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
There's another opportunity, Arabia. There is greater risk, but the reward is too high to overlook. If we pull it off, Alaska will be forgotten.
Pull off what?
The king recently asked for support removing his Saxonian occupiers. He needs weapons and training to declare independence. Even that dove in the White House can't deny helping Arabia would be a worthwhile investment.
So, what happened?
The king and his two sons have been murdered. But there is a new king. What if he were to ask for more than weapons, for an intervention?
They were murdered?
Free men liberating an oppressed nation led by America's son. Arabia regains its sovereignty, the Union sows seeds spreading our ideals, and our backers get access to Arabia's resources. Everyone's a winner. You'd be the hero who delivered freedom to the Arabians, forging an alliance with them. That's the sort of thing presidents are made of.
You think that Congress will authorize this?
This won't be on the books.
Better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
As soon as we have a foot in the door, we make the story go public. Congress can thank us later. I'll make the necessary arrangements. You leave in 12 hours.
Yes, sir. You ever want to see the desert?
What? Desert?
You might get your story after all.
Alaska wasn't enough! Now we're getting involved in the Arabian Civil War?
Sort of. Technically, Arabia is occupied by Saxony. Some tribes support them, others resist. But most of the Bedouin tribes tried to kick them out under the last king, who waged a guerrilla war for years. The politics of the new king are still unclear.
You think the new king is a friend to the Union, Captain? I'd say no. Hold tight!
So, you're the leader of these people.
The Free Tribe didn't exist a few months ago. Any man or woman who refuses to bow to the Saxonians is welcome here.
You know, it's a losing fight.
It is.
Look, I need to talk to the new king.
I don't believe talking to my uncle is in your best interest.
You are...
He murdered my father and my brothers. Then he opened the gates of Arabia to Saxony, and they opened their coffers to him. Go back where you came from, American. Arabia has already been sold.
Yet you're still fighting.
We and no one else. You said it yourself. It is a losing fight.
Nonsense! A beautiful desert princess fighting for freedom? An American war hero at her side? That's gold!
I have no interest in your front-page fairy tales. I don't care what people on the other side of the world think of me.
You should! If the American people become invested in your story, our politicians won't be able to stop them from helping you.
With America on your side, Arabia would be free within months.
Why should I trust you? How are you any better than the other Westerners who promised the stars while stealing the earth beneath our feet?
Then let our actions speak for us.
Prove it, American.
And since the battle at Tesla's factory, we've worked against Fenris and their poisonous influence. Then, a few weeks ago, Tesla made contact with your father and offered to help end the Saxonian occupation.
How noble of him.
He offered support for the rebellion in exchange for oil. A mutual partnership. Unfortunately, your uncle apparently prefers to work for the Saxonians, and they set up a trap for our delegation.
I'm sorry, Herr von Duisburg. Saxony intends to keep my uncle in power at all costs. Few are willing to keep up the fight. We are in no position to support such a pact with Tesla.
There is more at stake here. Evil is on the rise in Saxony, and there will be another war before long. Saxony cannot control Arabia's oil when that war comes.
That's not for Saxony, Tesla, or anyone else to decide. My people, my home, are not things to be traded or bargained with.
You're right. They had a problem with this where I was born too. But I've seen Saxony's armies. You've nothing to stop them. If you want them gone, you need allies.
Strong allies. A band of misfits hiding in the Balkans can't fight the Saxonian war machine. But America can.
Can, but won't. The Union hid during the Great War. Americans have no desire for European adventure. The Alliance can't expel Saxony from Arabia for you, but we can provide what you need to do it yourself. If you manage to unite the tribes under your banner, of course.
That's a big if. The American public will care about Arabia if we give them something they can believe in. America used to be a colony itself. We have a soft spot for people fighting European imperialists. All we need is a visible victory, something big, a symbol.
That is all well and good, but...
I'm listening.
So, tell me more about this Fenris. What's next for your freedom fighters, Princess Sita?
We finally have the equipment we need to take Al-Aqaba and disrupt Saxony's war supplies in the region. This is only the first step, though. We must drive Saxony out of Arabia entirely and regain our independence.
And, Captain Mason, why should Americans care about war in a distant place like Arabia?
America is a beacon for the oppressed. We will always be on the side of those who fight tyranny. Freedom, the pursuit of happiness, and justice for all. These are not simply American values, but inalienable human rights, and we should protect them throughout the world.
Your Highness, independence might not be in the cards for Arabia. Oil is increasingly valuable to the powerful nations of the world, including America. What stops them from occupying Arabia to protect it once Saxony is gone?
We're not Europa, Commander. America is not an imperialist nation. We're not in the business of occupying countries for our own gain.
There are American troops in Alaska as we speak, and it doesn't look like they're leaving anytime soon, does it, Captain?
It is true. We are weak today. But it wasn't always like this. We once led the world in science. All the stars in the sky bear Arabic names. From Washington to Dresden, you all use our numbers to count. Our history is the world's history. But now, our land is seen as nothing but a price to claim. A stepping stone for the ambitions of others. The world has passed us by. I want to change that. Saxony must be repelled. Then we can build a society no longer stifled by the old traditions. I believe the arrangement suggested by Nikola Tesla could help us stand on our own feet again. However, Tesla can't defeat the Saxonians for us. America could. But I won't allow any foreign troops in Arabia once Saxony has been expelled. Can you promise me that Arabia is not trading one occupier for another when I ask America for help?
I'll make sure that Union forces leave once the job is done.
I know the sort of people his father works with. Maybe the captain thinks he can outsmart them or cut their strings once he's in the White House. But he can't. He can't beat them at their own game. If you become president with Fenris's help, they could destroy your presidency at any time. You'd be their puppet.
You have my word.
I trust you. We are not our families. It's our own actions that define who we are.
Maybe they're here to join us.
No, that's my uncle's band.
We need to go! Now!
By decree of His Majesty, King Khalid of Arabia, I hereby declare Princess Sita, her rebels and her foreign co-conspirators prisoners of His Highness. You will be escorted to His Excellency, Saxonian Governor of Arabia, General von Schlonheim. Captain Mason and his men are free to go.
I didn't... Hey.
This was my fault. I should have realized your judgment would be clouded by naive ideals and a pretty face. You lack focus. I'll have to limit your leeway in the future.
We were about to...
Our people talked to King Khalid and made him a better offer than the Saxonians. In 3 days, he will officially ask America for military assistance and an ongoing presence to provide security and stability in the region. You'll lead our forces to free Arabia from Saxony.
And the princess and her freedom fighters?
These people are no freedom fighters. They're criminals. Saxony will execute them to uphold law and order, and King Khalid will use the murder of his niece as reason to turn his back on the Saxonians.
But why? We captured Aqaba. Princess Sita would have united the people behind her. She could throw Saxony out and become the rightful ruler of Arabia.
And then what? We leave and she sells us oil at whatever price she sees fit? You want to make the Union dependent on them?
But it's their country! And why wouldn't they cooperate as allies once we've helped them? When we show them what liberty is, when we lead by example.
The world will benefit from our principles. But standing on principle isn't enough. Neither are the latest auto machines or all of Arabia's oil. More than anything, we need a president who will do what is required to build something greater, a new world order. We'll make the 20th century America's century.
I see.
We want the same thing, William. But I know what success requires. You will not disobey me again. And you will forget about these people. Dismissed.
Pinker, gather our boys. I need to talk with everyone.
Why not talk with them in the air, Captain? The ship is manned and ready. We don't leave our friends behind, right, Captain?
I need you to do something.
This is treason, you know.
That's why I need your help.
Why did you come back?
Freedom. Justice for all. They're not just slogans. I swore an oath to defend America from her enemies, foreign and domestic. And America's enemies aren't here.
They'll throw you in prison. Or worse.
I have to go back.
How long before Tesla's mechs arrive?
Soon, I'm sure. That man is known for his miracles.
Very good. While we fight Saxony, I want to begin educating my people. We can't stand shoulder to shoulder with Europa through warfare alone.
That is true.
We can recruit from the Bedouin to help at Tesla's factory. There's much to learn there that they can take home.
Do you think we'll make it?
It's going to be a long fight. But yes, I do. Fear can't keep people down forever.
What's going to happen to Will?
He'll be hanged for treason, most likely. Or he becomes president.
Huh?
Americans, they have tremendous affection for their heroes. Sometimes it just takes them a while to realize who their heroes are.
Breaking news. WOSU has just confirmed reports of a covert military expedition overseas involving some of our nation's most senior officials. Shocking revelations indicate that Admiral Mason and other Washington power brokers orchestrated the venture. All documented by photographs, telegrams, and sworn testimony by none other than Captain William Mason, the Admiral's own son. Our very own Randolph Wells was an eyewitness to the events. Tell us what you saw, Randolph.
Captain Mason exposed a plot to use the Union military to leverage lucrative business opportunities for Washington insiders in what some have labeled a military-industrial complex.
Shocking news indeed. In related news, the President will address the nation this evening and present his new stance on foreign policy in light of these revelations.